Flashback.
Christopher Ward, you've done it again. This is a watch everyone already knew about, but it's a new colour. You can expect a full review from us in about 2 weeks, I think.
Sometime later.
And here we are, a little bit late, 9.5 months, but we've got the C60 Pro Bronze in Ombre Blue. How is it? So Terry, would you believe it was 10 months ago that this watch came out?
Honestly thought it was about 6 months ago, if I was to take a guess.
Yeah, I did not think it was that long ago. And what did we say at the time? Did we like it?
Nod for yes, shake for no. I honestly cannot remember, but looking at it now, it looks cool. That dial was lovely.
Yeah, well Terry, we really liked it. We thought it was great value for money, we thought the colour was lovely, and in all honesty, when it comes to this review, it's going to be a continuation of that. First of all, what are the specs? Well, the specs are 42mm case diameter, lug to lug of 49.3mm, a thickness of 11.5mm, and it's featuring the Sellita SW200-1 movement, which means, if you're familiar with the movement, it's got a power reserve of 38 hours. Pretty lacking, but they have done some stuff to really spice up the movement in this watch, so I can't complain too much. How do those dimensions translate to the wearing experience? Well, that's a very good question, and in all honesty, it wears very, very true to size. I don't think it wears overly bulky. There's nothing overly special about it in any of those dimensions. There's nothing really of note here. It wears like a 42mm dive watch. It will wear slimmer than a lot of other divers, because I do think the light catcher case that this uses, or is it a light catcher case? I don't know, but the trident case that this uses does wear fairly slim on the wrist. I like it. I really, really like it. If I was to complain in one respect about the dimensions, it would be the fact that it's a 42mm dive watch with 22mm lug widths. That's definitely my personal preference coming through. I prefer 20, especially on anything sort of between 37mm and 42mm, which is a massive range. I just feel like 22mm lug widths on this watch is a little bit out of place, but overall, there's nothing I can really complain about when it comes to the dimensions, just that one little niggle which comes down to my personal preference, and I'm making that clear. If we're staying on the lug width, or that sort of area for just one moment, the strap. Terry, this comes on a leather strap. It's a distressed Italian vintage oak leather, and honestly, it feels and looks really, really good. I mean, Terry, feel how soft that is.
I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetic of this.
But?
You're assuming there's a but coming?
I asked you how soft it was.
Oh, but it feels very soft. But...
Yeah. You're not a fan of how it looks.
I'm not a fan of the aesthetic.
That's alright, but I feel like the aesthetic does match the bronze case really, really well.
It matches it very well, but just personal preference.
Yeah.
Does it come on a bracelet?
There's no bronze bracelet option.
That's a shame. I think it'll be very cool on a bracelet.
You've got an option of a hybrid rubber strap in blue or this distressed brown vintage oak leather.
They do a bronze bracelet for the new Aeonian. No, I saw it on a bracelet.
Been discontinued.
Discontinued on the bracelet. That's a shame. That's a big shame.
Apparently it has been discontinued, yeah. So Terry's not a fan of the strap, but he does agree it's very, very soft and it does match the case very well, just not his sort of style. I'd sort of echo that. I think it looks very, very nice. I'm not going to complain about the strap. I really, really, really like it, and it's so soft. So much softer than your canvas that you got with his June GMT, which is now on sale.
Link in the description.
You can own Terry's very own June GMT. Right, back to the movement for just 1 minute. As I mentioned, Sellita SW200-1, 38-hour power reserve. But what is the spiciness that I mentioned? What is the giblet tickling element of the movement? Well, they've chronometer certified it, which for an SW200-1 is pretty damn cool. So, big text saying chronometer on the dial, and it means they have finagled the movement to give you a -4 +6 second a day accuracy, which, as I said, for this Sellita movement is excellent. So good job to Christopher Ward there. If we're staying on the dial where I mentioned the text, so it's so you're not getting whiplash from my change of topic. All the hour markers are bronze detail, as are the hands, as you'd expect, but they all look lovely. And the big draw to this watch, the reason why it was new and exciting at the time, is that blue ombre bezel and dial. And honestly, it all looks spectacular. There's not much I can say, but the dial looks so nice. It's smoky. It's just cool. I can't criticize it at all. I love that dial. Terry, what do you think of the dial?
I think the dial is the best aspect of the watch. That blue is gorgeous.
What if they did a green ombre?
No.
No. Green and bronze goes really well together.
It does go well together, but that blue is gorgeous.
You heard it here first, folks. Terry doesn't want to see a green version of this.
I don't feel like I need to see a green version of that.
Respect. He's a man with principles. And as you can see, it's also got a date hidden at 6 o'clock. Well, not really hidden. It's just got a date at 6 o'clock. Looks really nice. Gives it a nice symmetry. And coupled with the trident counterbalance, which, because this is a trident, still on this watch. Honestly, there's not really a whole lot to complain about this watch, especially when I say the price. 300 meter water resistance. I forgot to mention that part. Chronometer certified, bronze dive watch with a beautiful colour. £1,070. It's very, very good. I'm happy with that. I'm impressed by it. Honestly, guys, if you're after a bronze watch, whether that comes under the form of an ORIS, along like in the pointed date range, whether that's in the form of the Black Bay bronze, I would genuinely give this your consideration. It's a really good watch at a price that undercuts both of those, and it's still chronometer certified, so you're not really compromising on that performance either. Might be a bit big for some of you in 42mm, especially with current sizing trends, but the 42 wears excellently. I don't think I'd necessarily make it smaller, and that's me saying that. I think it wears beautifully, so I would recommend. But I want to hear your thoughts, so go down to the comments, let me know. And whilst you're down there, why not like, subscribe, ding that bell icon so you never miss another video, and why not click that join button, support the channel directly, just like everyone on screen did now, because they are amazing. I love them to bits. And also, before we move on, we've also got another supported tier member. So shout out Chris Lyle, absolute legend. I love him to bits, and I also love you if you've watched this far into the video. So thank you very much, and watch yourselves.